needed to find your target market too, and all
Well,
that good stuff.
I'm my target market. You guys are my
Right,
target
exactly.
market. The Hmong
Right.
community is the
Yeah,
target
yes.
market.
Now growing up, I just want to say that I want to repay you guys by helping everybody else, the family.
It's okay, Jimmy. You know we love you.
俾什麼嘢？俾什麼退呀？實到了你，有個血路逃避情美，這的被在夜了被青菜 within your working，被幕後的了被熒幕到，孤家朋友，是能拿。vì gió gây khứ lên thêm mũi khó.
Hello, and Nyajong, welcome to The Pieces. Here again with Season 2, Episode 2. And we have a guest here, NouaChi Vang. NouaChi, thank you for coming on the show.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming out, NouaChi.
Okay,
Yeah.
NouaChi is a private CFO. If you guys don't know what CFO is, a Chief Financial Officer at Oxygen Financial. And NouaChi also has a book out called Surviving to Thriving, a first-generation navigating personal finances. You are worthy of the best outcome. I love that title, NouaChi.
Yeah.
Surviving to Thriving.
Yeah.
When I saw that, I'm like, that is the perfect title
Yeah.
for our Hmong people, y'all.
Yeah.
Because we come to America, we're always just trying to survive.
Yeah.
But how do we get to the thriving part?
Yeah.
I haven't read the book yet, right, NouaChi? So what are we still waiting for in this book?
So I did do a pre-order book launch, but I'm still waiting for publishing to go through their process to actually do the ebook. So I was going to launch the ebook at the end of this month, but there are delays. This is my first time writing a book and publishing a book. So then there's some nuances and some processes that I was like, oh, I'm not familiar with this. Oh, there's certain things that they want me to go through. And so it's just taking a little bit longer than I thought. Because my idea was that I wanted to quickly get the technical information, share a little bit of my story, and get that knowledge out there because it's already been delayed, right?
Yeah.
It's already been too long, and the demand is there. But I guess the publishing industry they have their processes, right?
Yes.
So I had to switch a publisher. And so I'm on my second publisher, and they seem to be working a little bit faster at the pace that I wanted. So then hopefully, even if the ebook doesn't come out in March, the goal is that, okay, we're working on it. We'll take it day by day, and maybe we can get it out by April. But definitely, like the publishing, the paperback, the hardcover book should all be out by this year. So that's the goal.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that's been reaching out to me too. They're saying, "Hey, is the book out yet?" And I'm like, "Yes, we're working on it as quickly as we can."
Yes, definitely. I love the book, and I'm waiting to read it too. And well, tell us a little bit about your background and history, and why did you get all into this financial industry?
Well, like, I don't know if I speak Hmong or English or Monglish.
Oh,
That's fine. Anything is fine.
So then, so being Hmong, right? We all came from similar background. Our parents were political refugees, right? They came here with nothing, right? The clothes on their backs, maybe a little bit of support with families that were already here. And so my parents, once they started having kids, they really struggled financially, right? Like I think my dad was like a security guard, and my mom was like a cashier at a radio store, but those income wasn't going to cut it.
Right.
So then once we started growing, they started growing as we had like 6, 7 kids, and they're like, well, we got to find a better way to make money. So they returned back to what they knew how to do, which was farming, like all of our parents do, right? So they returned to farming, but even that was a real struggle, right? I saw them struggle all the time. We had limited income, limited budget. Like I always saw my dad budgeting, right? And we never had all the things that all of our regular school friends will have. We never had toys. We only had the necessity. So he was able to provide us this necessity, but then there will be some years where the crops were not good.
Right.
And so then we will hear, like growing up as a child, I would hear my parents talk about their financial struggle. So growing up, I was just like, I don't want myself to struggle financially. I don't want to continue to see my parents struggle financially. And they just didn't know what they didn't know. And back, it's like, so the reason why I pursue my career in finance is, and I'm a certified financial planner. And so was because I wanted to help my parents. I wanted to help my parents financially. I wanted to help myself financially. And the goal was always that I was going to spend 10 years in the financial industry, gain the knowledge and the experience, and then I would turn back to help the Hmong community, right?
So were you working for someone too before you did your own business here too, or?
Yeah, so right out of college, I started with a company called Vanguard.
Okay.
Right? I was with Vanguard for 12 years.
Wow.
And then I was at a bank, a large bank, for 3 years, and I learned a lot. Vanguard helped me learn and grow. I had a lot of leaders and advocate at Vanguard that even times where I wanted to give up kept pushing me to pursue my purpose, my dream, and my mission. And then at the bank, it was really there to go learn about products, right? Banking products, insurance, annuities. It's really to gain that experience and actually apply those products to clients to see how they work, right? And then I would have been happy staying at the bank and serving, find a way to serve the community, but it was just too many conflict of interest, right? So at the bank, they were always like, sell our products, sell our annuities, sell our banking products. And even at Vanguard, as much as I love them and I appreciate them for the career they've given me, it was really, as an advisor at Vanguard, sell Vanguard Mutual Fund, right? And yeah, you can advise on all these other things, but the core business is mutual fund. And to me, in my mind, it's like, wait, if you're trying to fix a car and your one tool is a mutual fund, it's really hard to fix the whole car with one tool, right?
Right.
And then when you're at the bank and they're saying, hey, you got to fix this car, but you can only use our tools and you have to pay for our tools, which are really, really expensive, when you can get the same set of tools somewhere else at a much lower cost and it will just be just as effective or efficient, right?
Right.
Then it's like, my hands are constantly tied, so I had to go independent. So I can have the autonomy to say, I want to serve the Hmong community, right? And I can do it. Versus in the corporate world, with Vanguard, unless you had $1 million or more of investable assets, I couldn't work with you.
Okay.
At the bank, unless you had $1 million of investable assets, I couldn't work with you because I was their employee, right? They were paying me, supporting me, and I had to do, what was within their guidelines and policy.
Right.
So then I had a moment when I was at one of these big company where I was helping a young Hmong individual.
Okay.
And he didn't have a lot of money. And I spent time helping him and doing financial planning for him. And my leadership was like, it's not worth your time. You shouldn't do that.
Is that what kind of changed your path to coming back and doing?
It was a struggle of
Okay.
Family and friends knew I was a certified financial planner, right? But they always felt like I can't access her because she works with people with a lot of money, right? But then this individual just happened to come into a lot of money, and he's like, I want to be responsible. And so then a family member referred him to me, and I helped him. And then my leader was like, you can't do that. Like, this is like a slap on the wrist, one-time exception, okay? But you work for us, and these are the clientele you need to serve, right? So that was the first signal of, I got to go independent.
Yeah.
But the second signal that really drove me to take action was really my dad passing away, right? So my dad passed away, and for a lot of family, it becomes like a big financial burden.
Yeah,
right?
that's always a struggle.
Always, right? It's like, how are we going to find the money to do this traditional Hmong funeral?
Exactly.
It's so expensive, right?
Budgeting and all the costs.
And so that was the moment where it was like, I'm working so hard to help people with a lot of money. And it was kind of my epiphany, like reflecting on my life and my parents' struggle and how my dad, his life, right? And it's interesting, too, because you don't know a lot about your parents or your grandparents until they pass away,
That's true.
They pass away. All these people start showing up to their funerals and telling you all these stories. And I'm going, wow, my dad literally went through miracles just to arrive in the U.S. so that my parents can birth me, right? And all the struggles they went through. And I had made myself a promise earlier on that I wouldn't use my experience and knowledge to serve the Hmong community. And I haven't until that point. And that was a moment that I said, I need to shift back. I need to turn back because I now have the experience. I have the knowledge. I've been in the industry for 17 years now, this past February. And I've worked with a lot of wealthy people that have millions and millions of dollars, right? And I need to now be able to make that knowledge and experience accessible to our community, right?
Yeah.
And so then that was the start of me planning and saving. And my dad's been gone for 5 years. And so I opened up my financial planning firm March of 2022, right? So I've been at this for a little bit over a year now, and the demand is there.
Yeah.
The demand is absolutely there.
NouaChi, is there a reason why you chose Minnesota? I know you're not originally from Minnesota. Is there like a game plan here, or is there a bigger population you're trying to serve, or what's the purpose behind you? Like, I'm coming to Minnesota to serve this group.
Well, in my research, I looked up the Pew Research, and it was interesting because I was going to open my office in North Carolina. And I thought about maybe California, but the cost of living is really high there, right? But then I wanted to be closer to a concentrated group, right? Because that's how you get the word out, right? That's how you spread the word. Yeah. Because you say, I got to start in a concentrated population. And even though there was a pretty sizable population in North Carolina, we're all spread out. Like, I grew up in Charlotte, main city, the only Hmong family in the high school, only Hmong family in the area. Yeah. And then within 10 years, more Hmong people started moving to the main city in Charlotte. But the bulk of the Hmong population still lives in the country. They still live out in the country, like Hickory, Albemarle. Like, it's really spread out.
Everything's all spread out.
Sporadic, right? I even looked into maybe I should go to Fresno. That was where I grew up. That's where my parents' farm is, right? But then I realized, like, wait, the population is thinning out in Fresno because there's not a lot of opportunity. So people has been going to, like, Stockton, Merced. Like, they're spread out throughout the coast, right? So then there's not a real epic center where people can gather and be a concentrated group, right, to support a cause and a purpose. And I can't do it alone, right? Right. I have the message, I have the knowledge, I have the experience, but for me to help a lot of people, the word has to spread. Right. And when I did the research, it says something like 85,000 household, Hmong household, is in the Minneapolis-St. Paul city alone, not counting the suburbs, right?
Right.
So then that was the epic center I needed to be in.
Needed to find your target market too, and
well, I'm my target market. You guys are my target market. The Hmong community is the target market. But we needed to. But for me to be successful, right, and for enough people to hear my message and say, look, personal financial planning is really important, right? I have the experience and the knowledge to help you. If you need me, you can come find me, right? But if the core of that population is in the Twin City and I'm in North Carolina, or even if I'm in North Carolina and they're living in the country an hour, 2 hours out, accessibility is going to be much harder, right? Exactly. But for me to say, hey, I'm here to help, I'm available, and all you do is reach out, and I'm right there, then your ability to act quickly is going to be much quicker, right?
Yes.
Right.
Versus, oh, there's a barrier. I got to go to North Carolina. Oh, there's a barrier. I got to drive. Even if I'm in North Carolina, I got to drive 2 hours, right? And I know we have a lot of technology and we have like Zoom and Skype and things that we can use. But at the end of the day, a lot of people, is to build that trust and that comfort, you still have to do the face-to-face, right?
You do.
Right.
There's something about being in person, face-to-face, meeting somebody that it's different.
It is.
Doing video or phone call, right? Yeah. So then that's the reason why I came.
Yeah, and it's the same reason why we are doing this podcast, and we're like, why y'all could just do the Zoom podcast and everything, but I'm saying there's nothing like that relationship when you actually see someone.
Yeah.
You can shake hands with a certain person.
Interaction.
Yeah. So it's and it's the trust, like you're saying too, right? And I believe because I'm going through NouaChi as well, just to put that out there. So if you guys are looking for financial help too, and look into a way out of poverty, NouaChi,
Yeah.
because a lot of our Hmong people, we get stuck in like a little bubble here, and we can't like escape these barriers to get out of this bubble and pass that onto the next path, and we're trying to get to, in which we call it more of the generational wealth, right, NouaChi? And so with just this past year, I've been more in tune into how do I kind of protect myself, protect my assets, pass this on to my kids, and make sure they're actually well educated into knowing finances and all that. And in order for me to have that, I need to have that information too.
Yeah.
And I believe when I reached out to you and we were building that connection, we're like, can I trust NouaChi and all of that, because we come from the same background. You're Hmong. We have that connection where my family's been in that situation too.
Yeah.
And that face to face, you say that's the most important part
Yeah.
too. So now you can't say no at all.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
and I think, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to write my book was to that knowledge, right?
Yes.
Because what I've experienced in the American corporate world is that a lot of wealthy people I work with, their children are successful and their grandchildren are successful because they have generational knowledge that passed on from the generation before.
Right.
Like, my great grandparents had a financial advisor. My parents had a certified financial planner. And then I'm getting into the cusp of my career, or I know I'm going to be taking over the family business. So then I'm working with generational knowledge that's being passed down, right? Yeah. But that's the part that we're missing in the Hmong community, because we came from survival. That's part of the reason why my book is titled that way, because 100 years, right, in a third world country, surviving, right? Learning how to navigate even like Laos, Vietnam, like countries where we were the minority, right? Trying to fight for rights, to be just to have prosperity, right? Right. And that constant struggle, and then coming from a third world country where the way that wealth was determined was like how many water buffalo you had, right? It's like kind of being transported fast forward into the U.S. where 1980, 1990, 2000, like it's like a completely different environment. Yeah. And and it's much more competitive, right? Yeah. The degree of that you have to have when it comes to money and wealth to be able to thrive and have generational wealth is completely different. So we have to change our mindset, right? Yes. We have to change because the mindset and what I hear over and over in having conversations with people for my book, right, and even in my business, is that we have this limiting mindset that, you want to work hard, go to school, get a good education so I can get you a stable job, and then have money in the bank, right? And then it kind of stops there. That's right. It stops there, and it's just like, okay. But then growing up in America, right, being in the American system, I'm a firstborn generation, right? Or what the people call the half generation, or the 1.5 generation. Right. We kind of know that, wait, there's more than just, working hard, having a good education and having savings in the bank. Yeah. There's something else called investing. Right. But we just don't know how to do it. We don't know what to do, where to start, like who can we trust, right? And then I've even had multiple conversations with Hmong individuals where they say they did try to seek help, right, from like American Advisor, right, or and it was just kind of like, you don't have enough money, right, or they feel like, they don't understand like where we're coming from, our culture, like why are you giving your parents money, right? And it's like, well, because it's part of who we are, like who we identify ourselves is. It goes back to our parents and their struggle and our clan, right, as a unit, because in America it's all about being independent, right? Your spouse, your kids, and that's the conflict we feel. But in the Hmong community, it's all about community responsibility,
Yeah.
You are responsible for yourself, your parents, your younger sibling, all these nieces and nephews and cousins, and it's like the responsibility now is just much wider, much greater, right? Yeah. So then you even need more money, right, to be able to thrive, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but people just don't know how to grow their money.
Yeah.
Right? They don't know what products and services to access so that they can get the level of wealth that they need to support themselves and their loved ones, and then pass it on down for multiple generations. Right?
NouaChi, I think that's where we made that connection, because I understood exactly everything you said. Because when you laid it all out, I'm like, that's exactly what I was thinking. Because we're kind of geared towards thinking in a different way. And so when those paths align and we cross, I'm like, she's actually talking about the same thing our Hmong people believe in, which is what I believe in, because I'm Hmong, right? So you've been doing this for 17 years now, right, NouaChi?
Yes, 17 years.
What's the service and the product that you're providing for your customers right now, your clients?
So there's 3 levels of service that I provide. So the first level is financial coaching. So then I always tell people, when you think of building a house, right, the financial coaching program I give people is the foundation. It's the foundational knowledge, right? A lot of people may come to me and say, no, I'm good with the foundation. I'm good. Let's start with the financial planning, which is level 2. And then when we start with the financial planning, there's a struggle, right? So we have to go back to the foundation, learning how to budget, having a budget process, learning how to manage debt, right? Understanding the employee benefits you have access to and taking advantage of it, right? Understanding how the U.S. tax system works, how to maximize credits, deductions, right? You've got to understand the system, right? For you to be able to say, hey, this is how I can take advantage of it and maximize more dollars working for me, saved and redirected towards me versus losing it towards taxes and you never seeing it again, right? You got to understand investment basics, right? So, and then ultimately, all that savings in the bank, a lot of my clients that have a lot of wealth they don't have a lot of cash that just sits in the savings account. They actually use cash alternatives so that they can maximize their cash working for them, earning 5%, 4% versus sitting in a savings account earning 0.01%.
Right.
But then if you don't know what you don't know, and you don't have the foundational knowledge, then you can't build the pavement that you need.
It's like hiring a bunch of workers but not working.
Yeah, it's just like, because you don't have the knowledge to direct the workers on what to do and how to do it, right?
Right.
So then the financial coaching program is really to give people a very strong, like stable foundation of this is how you lay the groundwork, right? And then level 2 is financial planning, in which we say, okay, we're going to start building the house. We're going to put a financial plan together. We're going to do some long-term analysis, like projecting from now to the age of 100. We need to put an investment plan together, right? A tax plan together, insurance plan. We want to look at estate planning. The estate planning, I think, is the biggest struggle for the Hmong community.
With all this process, do we meet up every week for talks to get you through the steps with all this?
So financial coaching is usually 1 hour every week, but there's homework that you have to do.
Okay.
Right? And then so that when we spend that 1 hour together, I give you the most value. For the financial planning program, it's an hour a month, and I do give you homework to do as well.
Okay.
So then when we get together and we're and it's not like, it's a partnership, right? So then a lot of people say, hey, my experience has been, I've gone to a financial advisor, a financial professional, and they say, this is how you should do things, right? But as a certified financial planner, my job is not to tell you that this is what you should or shouldn't do. My job is to find out, what do you want to do? Like what kind of wealth do you want to create? What kind of financial situation do you want to create for your family? And my job is to help you come up with a plan, map it out, and then go out there and find out, with all the products and services available, which is going to be the best fit to meet your goals and your needs. That's going to help you get there sooner and faster, right? To amplify what you want to happen, right? Yeah. So then as a certified financial planner, it's very different, because a lot of people will say, oh, are you a financial advisor? It's like, well, that's a complicated question, because I do give financial advice,
right.
but by profession, I'm a certified financial planner.
Okay, so
I'm
there is a
board
difference.
certified. There's a difference.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of people out there that will say, I'm a financial advisor, but they're really just an insurance agent trying to
Right.
sell you a product, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or they may say, I'm a financial advisor, but they're just a broker dealer who's trying to sell you, like, they're going to pitch stocks to you or pitch mutual funds to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there are professions out there where they will call themselves financial advisor, but the reality is they're selling you an end product, which is either insurance or pitching stocks or it's like, but those are not bad things. It's just like, it's just one piece of the puzzle, right? But a certified financial planner is saying, hey, all the pieces of the puzzle really matter and it's all really important. And we must find a way to bring it together and make sure we have a plan that they work cohesively, right? So that's the financial planning process, right? And it's a 12-month program. We meet for an hour every month. And then the third level, I tell people, it's like, that's my ongoing wealth management program. This is where a lot of Mika come and find me, where they go, they already have the foundational knowledge. They know why it's important. They know what needs to be done, but they just don't want to do it. So they come and find me and say, hey, we're going to have an ongoing wealth management relationship. I'm going to pay you an ongoing fee, and you're going to do all of these things for me, right, proactively. And so then that's like level 3. So then I think for a lot of the Hmong community, they feel like, oh, I just want to start with the foundational, right? And then maybe I'll go to the financial planning, but they're not sure yet about the wealth piece. But a lot of my core clients on the wealth management side, they do tend to have over $1 million, right? Because that's where that's just at that level. They're like, well, we have so much money, we rather dedicate our time to do something else, or we rather dedicate our time to go on vacation, spend more time with family, concentrate on professional career. So we could just pay this person money because the benefit is going to significantly supersede the cost, right? It's a different mindset, right? Because you look at benefit and cost, and if the benefit's going to be up here, the cost is here, then why not pay it? Especially when you have a lot of money, right? But a lot of the people in the Hmong community, I've been encouraging them to say, hey, in the coaching program and the financial planning program, I'm very transparent. I'll tell you everything that I would do for my ongoing wealth management client, right? It's just a matter of, do you want to do it yourself, or do you want me to support you at that level, at level 3, right? And I do have some young clients who are like children of some of my current clients where they're self-directed. And I say, hey, you know, if you don't want ongoing wealth management, you feel like you want to learn yourself, like the younger generation tends to want to learn themselves, and you just want to check in and make sure you're doing the right thing, or if you have blinders that you don't work in the industry and you don't keep up with financial markets or news or legislation and tax law changes, and you just want to check in once or twice a year, then we can do that, right? It's just, I'm here to support you in the best way that will fit you, right? Fit where you are. I'm here to meet you where you are and give you the help that you need. Right?
Give them a push.
Yeah. I want to meet you where you are, and I want to make sure that if you want to be successful, right, that you have the right steps, you have the instructions, you have the right path. I want to it's paving the way and making sure that you're taking the right path and making the right decisions, or have the information to make the best decision for you and your family, right?
Right. Yeah. Information is definitely key concepts to growing too.
Yeah, absolutely.
NouaChi, I know you, one word that you always said that stuck to me was, your plan's got to be dynamic. Can you explain that more in detail? Because I think that's what resonated with me the most. I'm like, okay, NouaChi, I'm going to come in here and you're going to just tell me how to make money. I'm like, you're like, that's not really how it works. Because each individual, it's different. Because you're at a different stage in your life right now. Like, you could be making $1 million and be like, NouaChi, just manage this for me. Or you'd be like, I still work a 9-to-5 job. How do I actually put this in my savings? How do I save money for my kids and all that? So, like you were saying, it's got to be just dynamic to who you and an individual is. NouaChi, how did they reach out to you?
How did they reach out to me? Oh, I can give you my number.
My
right work number is 763-219-4477.
Okay.
And you can email me at NouaChi at oxygenfinancial.net. So that's NouaChi at oxygenfinancial.net.
All right.
And then one more time,
Yep.
my work number is 763-219-4477. And you can call or text me at that number.
Yeah, and this will be uploaded. The video will be uploaded, and we'll list the information down below too. And you guys, I'll put in some links too, so you guys want to just be that one click away to get to NouaChi. So
Oh, yeah.
make sure you guys.
I'll give you my calendar link. They can
yes,
schedule
how
an
about
appointment
that?
right on my calendar. Yeah.
Because I think this is information. Because when I reach out to you, I'm like, our Hmong people need this. I need this, so I know our Hmong people need this.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Because can you explain that wherever you are in your life right now, you can still get to your dream destination?
Yes.
Because if you lose that sight or that dream there, you're just like, okay, I'm going to go back into my bubble here and just cuddle up and just be like, I'm fine with life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just, to answer your question about dynamics,
Yeah.
right? Because life changes, life events happens, right? You're going to get raises, but there's risk of layoff, right? People can get sick. There could be accident, right? Things are going to happen in your life that's
Right.
going to impact your finances. So your financial plan has to stay dynamic, because you have to recognize that even if you have a budget plan, it's going to go up and down, because things are going to happen. Even if you have an investment plan, the market's going to go up and down, There are things that are unpredictable, like unpredictable life events, unpredictable market conditions, that's going to impact your finances, right? So then you always have to look at your plan. Like, I check in with my ongoing wealth management clients like every 3 months, and then we update their financial plan once every year, right? And so it's because life does happen, right? Oh my gosh, I lost my job. Oh my gosh, my parent passed away.
Right.
Oh my goodness, my grown son and his kids are moving back into the house, right? Oh my goodness, my kids are getting divorced. Wait, my grandkids going to college. Like my children are going to college. Like all these things are happening, right? And you got to dodge, weave, and pivot. But at the end of the day, you have a core foundation. You have a structure house, right? And the dynamic part is really maintaining the house, right? Doing all the things you need to do to keep the house up to date, right? Changing your filter, right? Making sure that, and I don't know about you guys, but growing up, we scrubbed our walls so it wasn't dirty.
Right, yeah.
The Hmong way with a bucket and a towel, right? So it's just like maintenance to your house that you're going to need, because if you lay the foundation, you build a house, and you're living in this house for 10, 20, 30 years, and you don't do maintenance, then there's eventually the problems that could arise. It just becomes so big that it becomes structural problems to the house, right?
Yeah.
And the house is not going to be functional, or it's not going to be livable, or it could come crumbling down. So that's why the financial planning is really, it's a dynamic process, right?
Yeah.
Because you need maintenance,
Yeah.
right?
Exactly.
Because things are going to change. And then the second part, I forgot. What was it?
It was just trying to put their life. I think you kind of explained it right there when we were talking about your plan as being, you got to be dynamic with it too.
Yeah.
Because I was explaining that you have a goal in mind in which you're trying to get to, like $1 million or real estate investments, or and then you're at this point in your life, but you're trying to get here.
Yeah.
Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I was like, you need NouaChi because she's going to help you get to your destination.
Yes.
Because we have a picture in mind, but we don't know how we're going to physically get there.
Yes.
Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And if people reach out to you, I feel like that's like your cheat code. I feel like. Because like we have a vision, but we don't know how we're going to really achieve that vision.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And I can help you get there. You're right.
Yes.
It's like a cheat code. Like I've already experienced, I already gather the knowledge and the experience, and I'm giving it to you right away.
Right.
So you can apply it right away.
Yeah.
Right. So you don't have to go through the trial and error.
Right.
Because
Exactly.
learning by trial and error is really hard.
And
right?
it takes
and
time.
it takes time, and it causes financial setbacks.
Yep.
And I think for a lot of Hmong individuals that I've spoken to, they will do things like, I didn't know how to invest, so everybody was doing crypto.
Yeah.
So I got into crypto.
Yes.
I lost thousands of dollars. I just pulled all my money out. I cut my losses, and I never invested again. And that's like, oh my gosh, that sounds like a horrible experience, right? But it's trial and error.
Yeah.
Or I opened this small investment account, and I started buying some ETFs or some stocks, and then after I bought it, I didn't know what to do. So it's just been sitting there, right?
Is
And
that
it's
what
like,
you teach in the courses too that you provide?
yes. I teach them investment basics, like, and really how to select investments. Like,
Okay.
what's the right philosophy for you to use, right? Because there's a lot of philosophies out there. But when it comes to long-term success, you have to do long-term investing, right? So it's a different mindset, because a lot of what's on social media, it's really speculation.
Right.
It's really making money quick, right? It's like there's no get rich quick scheme without a lot of risk, right?
I think everyone wants to get in and make a bunch of money and get out, but I think reality is it's not as easy as that.
Yes, and that's and the reality is it's not it. And unless you are a professional trader and you do it every day and day out, and you're just doing it for yourself to make a lot of money too, right?
Right.
But even professional portfolio traders, even they make mistake, and their mistake could be significant too, right? So then it's really, you have to have a plan. You have to have a process, right? And to start, before you even start with, well, what's the plan and what's the process like? You have to gain clarity about who you are, where you are in your phase of life, and like you said, where do you want to go?
Right.
And if you want to get there and you don't know the pathway, right? And it's kind of like I always describe to people, it's like there's this magical castle up on a hill, right?
Right.
And you're way down here.
Yeah.
And there's all this woods and all these things in between, and you're just like, I don't know, should I go right, should I go left, should I go in the middle? Like, what am I gonna do? Like, how do I avoid pitfalls, how do I avoid challenges? Like, let's plan this out.
Right.
And really my job is to say, well, I've already been to that castle.
Right.
I got there.
Right.
And this is how I got there.
Yeah.
I've already paved the way.
Exactly.
I'm just going to show you how to get there. I'm going to be your guide, right? We don't have to hold hands, but I'll walk right next to you.
Right.
And I'll take you down this path, right?
Right.
It's kind of like having that Sherpa climbing Mount Everest, right?
Right.
It's like everybody knows how to climb up a mountain, but why do you need a Sherpa?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's when you're coming down.
Yeah.
It's when the tough shit's happening, right? It's when the bad things that are unexpected market condition, unexpected life events happening that you got to say, oh, Sherpa, what should I do?
Yeah.
Like, what kind of information can I get? Like, what kind of information do I need to give you that I already have, right, that can support you, because these unexpected things are happening.
Right.
And especially when I use the Mount Everest analogy, I would say when people are coming down Mount Everest, that's when people die the most. Right? Because they're either coming too fast or they're not going fast enough, because they don't know the pace, they don't know the elevation, the conditions, and that's why you need a guide, right? So if you don't know what you don't know, right, but you do know that this is a goal you want to achieve, right, then you got to seek professional help, right? Or you spend 17 plus years learning it yourself while doing your regular job, you know, spouse, kids, parents, right? Nobody can do that. That's why my profession exists, right?
Yeah.
That's why attorneys exist, right? That's why teachers exist, right? That's why these different type of professions exist, because it's our job to be experts in those areas so that we can support you, people that need it, right? Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah.
NouaChi, I look at it like the financial world as like it's a game, and we gotta know how to like play the game, and like you know all the rules, and that's how I look at it.
Yes.
Like, because as we're working together, you're like, hey, just give me a call when you need help with something. Like, you're so easily accessible, and which is what I like. So make sure you guys go and follow NouaChi too, and reach out to NouaChi, guys, any questions. I mean, she's like an open book, so she's open to help. And she'll reach out to her, she'll lay out like, hey, this is what my service is going to cost you and everything. I know I got a discount because me and NouaChi are great friends. So so make sure you guys reach out to NouaChi. NouaChi, what's the future looking like? Are you expecting to go out into all the other states too, or reaching out to all the other Hmong communities too, or what's the future goal and plan here?
So I do market to the whole Hmong community. So I do have clients in California, North Carolina, Colorado, like Oklahoma, like any like I operate across 50 states, right?
Okay.
because we have technology, right? You could
Yeah.
do virtual all the time.
Okay.
And once in a while, I still have family in North Carolina, so I'll go there. And if I have clients there, I'll be like, okay, let's meet up. Or I have family in Cali, so we'll go there. Oh, if I have clients there, then we'll meet up, right? But it's anybody, like it's anyone that really needs help, really. At the end of the day, it's like, if I need clarity, I don't know what I'm doing, right? Or if I want to achieve, a better and stronger financial outcome, if I want to build generational wealth, but I don't know where to go, and what to do, then I want to help you, really. So anybody, right? In the Hmong community is my target. My vision and hope and dream for the future is that I want to expand my business and create a team, create the first Hmong financial planning firm, right? That right? So that in the next 100 years, like, we don't have to be worried about generational poverty, right? Because when you think about the demographic and the social economics in the U.S., right, you have those that are super, super wealthy, but then you also have people who've been here for like 100 years, like Mikaduna, like, where they are restricted from knowledge and access. So that even though they've been here 100 years, they're not as prosperous as the other counterparts that's been here, right?
Right.
And so then, for me, I feel strongly that's the key.
Yeah.
It's the access. And if you have it available to you and it's at your fingertip, then it's just a matter of you choosing to take advantage of it or not, right? Because, like, a lot of people are like hesitant, worried, they're not sure what to expect. But I'm saying I'm very transparent. I'll tell you everything I know, right? But it's also, I don't want to overwhelm people either. So then I start with the coaching program, the planning program, the ongoing wealth management program. And then there's certain levels you have to get to access products and services, right? So my $5 million client is going to have access to a lot of investment resources that, if you're starting out having zero, you may not have the wealth level to access that. But my mission and goal is to get you to that wealth level. I want you, on a scale of 1 to 10, if you're a lot of the people in the community just starting out going, I don't know what I don't know, is at level 0. The foundation takes you to level 1. The financial plan takes you to level 2. Once you build that wealth up to level 3, 5, 10, then, oh my gosh, like, the resources just, doors opens for you, right? But you have to start, right? You have to start, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That is right.
I love where you're going with this, NouaChi, and with all this great information that you have, with all the blueprints that you provide already. It's something that we just gotta hop on and do it to create more generational wealth. Well, we have a tradition on the pieces here, leaving one key advice to our community or our viewers that's watching this video, so we can grow as a community.
Yeah, I think my one message I can leave for everybody is that people hear or people believe that you have to have a lot of money to seek financial planning and financial advice, right? But you don't, because the people who need financial planning and advice the most are people who don't have a lot of money and people who want to build and create that wealth, right? So those are people, a lot of those people are people in the Hmong community where they don't have a lot of money, but they feel like they don't, like, that's why part of my title is you are worthy of the best outcome. They feel like they're not worthy because they don't have a lot of money. They feel that they're not worthy because they may be like the second child, not the firstborn, or not the baby, right? Or there's just all this like mindset going on, right? Like, I just don't feel like I can access that. I don't feel like I deserve that, right? But I tell everybody that it doesn't matter what wealth level you have. You just have to have a desire to get to the best outcome. And then you just have to start, right? And I say that from personal experience. Because I myself, right out of college, I was making $30,000 a year right out of college. That's how much Vanguard was paying me. And I was thinking, wow, like, and one of my mentors was like, you need to save into your 401k. And I'm thinking, I have a young child. I'm like, I have parents that I want to give money to and other people I need to support. And I just don't have the money.
Yeah.
And he was just like encouraging me, say, just do it. And I did it, right? It was kind of scary, but I did it when I had no money and I had more student loan debt than income.
Yeah.
But because I was just fortunate, I got into this profession, right? And I had a lot of mentors that guided me, like I'm offering to guide the community, the Hmong community. And I did all those steps, right? And I did everything that, you know, for myself that I advised my $1 million clients to do. And within a 10-year span, it was like, it made all the difference, right? So you just have to start.
Yes.
You just have to start.
Yeah.
Well, we have a quote of Hmong Life, American Dream, and I think NouaChi will take us there. So be sure to reach out to NouaChi. And thank you for coming on the show, NouaChi. We appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Thank you very much, NouaChi. And I'll just leave it one thing, too. Just kind of like finalize why you guys need to just hop on this boat here with NouaChi, right? Because after every conversation, I ask my wife, or NouaChi always says, was this worth it? I'm like, oh, yes, this was worth even more than that. Because we come out of it, we're like, we feel so more empowered now, and we feel so much more in control.
Yes.
And that's what I feel like we all need, to be in control.
Yeah.
So make sure you guys reach out to NouaChi. And thank you very much for follow. Thank you very much. Make sure to give us a like, follow us, and we'll provide more content. And if we get a lot more likes, maybe we'll bring NouaChi back for some more information and provide more of this service out to you guys. Maybe we'll throw in something extra special for our audiences. And thank you very much again.
All right. Ochona.
And thank you, NouaChi.
You're welcome.